We're talking about a coin that might be sitting in your change jar right now, the 1989 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. You may think that it's just another penny, but what if I told you that one of these pennies is currently valued at a whopping $1.8 million? Stick around, because we're about to explore the story behind this coin and why it's so valuable. Before diving into the specifics of the 1989 penny, let's first take a moment to talk about mint marks. Mint marks are small letters found on coins that indicate where the coin was produced. In the case of American pennies, the most common mint marks are D for Denver and S for San Francisco. If you don't see a mint mark, that means the coin was minted in Philadelphia. Now, you might be thinking, so what? Well, for most years, these mint marks don't make much of a difference in a coin's value. But in some rare cases, a coin without a mint mark can be extremely valuable, and the 1989 penny is one of those cases. The 1989 no-mint mark penny, 2 to 4 o'clock, in 1989. A curious thing happened at the U.S. Mint. A handful of pennies were struck without the usual mint mark. These were supposed to be produced in the Philadelphia Mint, so they were made without any mint mark, as was typical for Philadelphia minted coins. But what makes the 1989 penny stand out is the fact that a few of these pennies were released into circulation, and they didn't make it back to the mint for correction. At first, it was just another oddity. One of those mistakes that collectors tend to overlook. But over the years, it became clear that this specific error made these pennies incredibly rare, and rare coins, as you probably know, can be worth a lot of money. The discovery and first sales, 4 to 530. So how was this rare penny discovered? Well, it wasn't until the early 2000s that coin collectors started noticing something unusual about certain 1989 pennies. They were stamped just like any other penny from that year, but without the mint mark. When these were sent off to grading services, they were confirmed as legitimate U.S. coins, but with a critical error: no mint mark. Once word spread about these errors, collectors went wild. Coins that had once been viewed as nothing more than a common penny were now being sold for thousands of dollars. In some cases, even hundreds of thousands. And in one remarkable sale, a single 1989 no-mint mark penny fetched $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.8 million for just a penny. Oh, what makes this penny worth so much money? Well, it all comes down to rarity. The 1989 no-mint mark penny is incredibly rare because it was never supposed to exist. The mint usually catches such errors before they're distributed to the public, but in this case, the coins slip through the cracks. Since there are so few of them out there, the demand among collectors is sky high. Add to that the fact that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins that are both rare and historically significant, and you begin to understand how a single penny can command a price tag in the millions. What does the coin look like? 7 to 8 o'clock. If you want to go searching through your change, it's important to know what to look for. The 1989 no-mint mark penny looks like any other penny at first glance. It features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front side, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse, or back, side features the Lincoln Memorial, which was used on the penny until 2009. What makes it different is the absence of the mint mark under the date. Normally, you would see a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But in this case, the coin is just plain, with no mint mark at all. It's small, but it's the key that makes the coin so valuable. How to determine if you have 8 to 9 o'clock? Now, you may be wondering, how do you know if you've got one of these rare pennies? The first step is to take a close look at the date and the absence of a mint mark. If you find a 1989 penny and there's no D or S under the year, you could be in luck. The next step is to get it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. These services will examine your coin, verify its authenticity, and assign it a grade based on its condition. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. If your penny is in great condition, with little to no wear, it could be worth far more than just a few bucks. In some cases, it could even fetch $1 million price. Market value and auction prices, 9 to 940. While the 1989 no-mint mark penny has been valued as high as $1.8 million in the past, the market value can fluctuate based on demand, condition, and the overall state of the coin market. However, these rare coins are still highly sought after, and if you happen to find one, you're sitting on a potentially very valuable piece of history. The rarity and scarcity of this penny will likely keep its value high for years to come. So, there you have it. The 1989 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is one of the rarest and most valuable pennies out there. And if you happen to have one in your possession, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Who knew that a simple mistake could turn a common penny into $1 million treasure? Thanks for watching, and be sure to check your spare change. You never know what you might find. We will dive into the fascinating world of coin collecting, specifically focusing on the rare 1987 D-Mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. This coin has garnered a lot of attention recently, especially with its market value now reaching an astonishing $1 million. In this video, we'll cover the history behind this coin, its rarity, how to spot it, and why it's fetching such a high price today. So, let's get started. The penny, or 1-cent coin, is something most of us are familiar with. In fact, it's one of the most common coins in circulation, used in daily transactions and often overlooked in the world of numismatics. However, certain pennies are anything but ordinary, and that's what we're going to talk about today, the 1987 D-Mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now, let's take a step back and understand what makes this particular penny so rare. In general, most pennies minted in 1987 were made in huge quantities, meaning they're pretty easy to find in circulation today. But there's a very specific error that occurred at the Denver Mint in 1987, and it has created a rare and highly sought-after version of this penny. The 1987 D-Mint mark penny, to the untrained eye, might look just like any other. It features the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and on the reverse, you'll find the famous Lincoln Memorial. But what sets this particular penny apart is a minting error that caused a small number of these coins to be produced with the wrong details, leading to an incredible increase in value. To understand why this penny is now worth so much, we need to talk about minting errors. The 1987 D-Mint mark penny contains a rare variety of error called a double die obverse error. This means that the die used to strike the coins was misaligned, resulting in double details on the image of Abraham Lincoln. You might notice a doubling of the inscriptions, like the date 1987, or even the details on Lincoln's hair and beard. It's subtle, but if you know what to look for, it's easy to spot. So, why is this error so important? In the world of coin collecting, minting errors are highly prized, especially when they are rare and not something you can find easily. A coin with a double die error like this is considered a major mistake in the production process. That rarity, combined with the fact that it was minted in 1987, makes it incredibly valuable to collectors today. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the coin's current market value. When it comes to rare coins, value is determined by several factors: rarity, condition, and demand. As we've mentioned, the 1987 D-Mint mark Lincoln penny with the double die error is rare. Only a handful of these coins are believed to exist, which drives up its desirability among collectors. If you were to find one of these rare pennies, you could expect it to be worth a pretty penny, pun intended. Current market values for this specific coin have soared into the six-figure range, with some specimens even reaching up to $1 million. That's right. This small penny that most people wouldn't think twice about could be worth a fortune, depending on its condition and the degree of error. You might be wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these rare coins? Well, that's a great question, and I'll walk you through it. First, examine the coin closely under good lighting. Look for any doubling in the inscriptions, especially around the date, the word liberty, or the "In God We Trust" motto. The doubling should be clear but subtle. Too much doubling would indicate a more obvious error, but a light, almost ghostly doubling is what you want to look for. Next, check the overall condition of the coin. Coins with minting errors are typically more valuable if they are in excellent condition, meaning they have little to no wear and tear. Look for sharp details and minimal scratches or discoloration. Of course, the rarer the coin, the higher the value. But don't expect to get a fortune unless your coin has the error and is in great shape. If you believe you might have one of these rare 1987 D-Mint mark pennies, the next step is to get it evaluated by a professional. It's always a good idea to take it to a reputable numismatist or send it to a trusted grading service for an official evaluation. These professionals will grade the coin based on its condition and determine if it's a true double die error. If it is, the potential for a significant payout is real. Now, let's talk a little more about the history of the penny itself. The Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, has undergone several design changes over the years. The coin originally featured a depiction of the wheat stalks on the reverse, which was later replaced by the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. This version of the penny continued until 2009, when the U.S. Mint introduced a special design to mark Lincoln's 200th birthday. But the 1987 D Mint Mark penny, along with other coins from that era, is part of a long tradition of change and innovation in U.S. coinage. While most people simply see the penny as pocket change, collectors know that these small pieces of metal can hold great value, especially when they carry unique characteristics or errors that make them stand out. In conclusion, the 1987 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny is a rare and valuable coin that has captured the attention of collectors. The double die error that occurred during its minting makes it highly sought after, and its value can reach an impressive $1 million. If you have one of these pennies, you could be holding a small fortune in your hand. Just be sure to inspect it carefully, and if you think you've found one, consider getting it professionally evaluated to learn more about its worth. We're diving into a fascinating piece of U.S. history, the 2014 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now, you may be thinking, what makes a penny from 2014 worth $1.1 million? Well, stay tuned, because this rare coin has a story that's more intriguing than you might imagine. In the next few minutes, we'll explore the history of the penny, the significance of mint marks, how this penny became so valuable, and how you can spot these rare coins in your own collection. So, let's jump right in. Before we get into the 2014 No Mint Mark penny, let's take a quick look at the 1-cent coin itself. The penny has been around since 1793, and over the years, the design has changed several times. Most famously, we've seen the Lincoln Memorial design from 1959 to 2008, and more recently, the Union Shield design, which has been used since 2010. But regardless of design, every penny has a key feature that tells you where it was made. The mint mark. A mint mark is a small letter stamped onto the coin to indicate which U.S. mint facility produced it. Most coins have mint marks like D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or P for Philadelphia. For most pennies, you'll either see a D or a P, with the occasional S for special coinage. So, what happens when a penny doesn't have a mint mark? It's a rare occurrence, and that's exactly what we're talking about today. In 2014, an odd and unique situation arose. A batch of pennies was released that didn't have any mint marks. This was completely unexpected, and it caused quite a stir in the numismatic world. Here's the thing. In 2014, most of the pennies were made at the Philadelphia Mint, so they should have had the P mint mark on them. However, a few of these pennies made it into circulation without the P. How did this happen? It turns out, the 2014 No Mint Mark pennies were the result of an error at the Philadelphia Mint. These coins were struck without the mint mark, making them incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. Only a small number of these unmarked coins were made, and even fewer made it into public hands. Now, let's talk about the value. If you happen to have one of these 2014 No Mint Mark pennies in your possession, you're in luck, because this penny is worth far more than its face value of 1 cent. In fact, one of these rare coins was recently sold for a staggering $1.1 million. So, what makes this penny worth so much? The rarity is the main factor. Remember, most pennies from 2014 have the mint mark P, but these unmarked coins are a real anomaly. Only a few of them are known to exist, and their scarcity has driven up their value dramatically. But don't expect to find one lying around in your pocket change. These coins are extremely rare, and finding one is like discovering a hidden treasure. Now that you know the value of this coin, how can you identify a 2014 No Mint Mark penny? It's actually pretty simple. Look for a penny from 2014 that doesn't have any mint mark on the reverse side. The absence of the mint mark is the key feature. Keep in mind that other coins from 2014 will have a mint mark, so it's only the unmarked ones you'll need to keep an eye out for. You might be wondering, how did this coin go from being a rare error to being worth $1.1 million? The journey of this coin's discovery is quite a story. One of the first known 2014 No Mint Mark pennies was discovered by a coin collector who happened to be looking through a roll of pennies. After verifying its authenticity, the penny was eventually auctioned off. It sold for a massive $1.1 million at a prestigious coin auction, surprising everyone in the numismatic community. So, why would someone pay so much for a single penny? Well, coin collecting is a big business, and collectors and investors often seek out rare items to add to their collections. Coins like the 2014 no mint mark penny are highly prized because of their rarity and historical significance. In fact, there are many collectors who specialize in mint errors, which are coins that were struck with defects or anomalies. These errors, while unintentional, often make the coin more valuable because of their unique characteristics. Will the 2014 no mint mark penny continue to increase in value? It's hard to say for sure, but it's likely that these rare coins will only become more valuable as time goes on. The fewer there are in circulation, the more they'll be worth to collectors and investors. If you have one of these coins, it might be worth holding on to it and seeing how its value evolves over the years. In the world of coin collecting, rare coins like these can appreciate significantly over time. To wrap things up, the 2014 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny is a prime example of how a small error can lead to a huge payoff. Its rarity, coupled with the intrigue of its origin story, has made it one of the most valuable pennies in history, with a recent sale price of $1.1 million. If you happen to come across a 2014 penny with no mint mark, take a closer look. It could be worth far more than you think. We're diving into one of the most fascinating and rare coins ever minted, the 1986 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. This particular penny has captured the attention of collectors and investors worldwide, with a current market value of an astounding $1.2 million. Let's take a closer look at what makes this coin so special, how it came to be, and why it's worth so much. If you're like most coin collectors, you probably know that most pennies have a mint mark, a small letter placed on the coin to indicate where it was produced. The mint mark can tell you whether a penny was made in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. However, the 1986 Lincoln cent is famous for one glaring omission. It has no mint mark at all. Now, you might be thinking, what's the big deal? It's just a penny. But this particular coin has become one of the rarest and most valuable pennies in the world. Let's explore WHY.in 1986. The U.S. Mint produced a series of Lincoln 1-cent coins. Typically, the mint mark on a coin would be found on the reverse side, just beneath the year. However, in 1986, a batch of pennies was minted in Philadelphia without the mint mark, a mistake that would turn out to be one of the most significant errors in modern coin history. At the time, the U.S. Mint had been shifting its production processes. The Philadelphia Mint, which had been producing coins without mint marks for years, mistakenly omitted the mint mark from these particular coins. This oversight was caught relatively quickly, and the majority of the coins from this batch were melted down or corrected. But some of these rare no-mint mark pennies made it into circulation. The result? A rare and valuable coin that would eventually become a prized item for collectors. It wasn't long before collectors and coin enthusiasts started noticing something unusual about their 1986 pennies. As the years went on, it became clear that a small number of these no-mint mark pennies had survived. The scarcity of these coins, paired with the error, made them highly sought after. In fact, when experts started reviewing these pennies, it became clear that their error was no ordinary mistake. This wasn't just a minor issue like a misspelled word or a slight variation in design. This was an example of a significant production error that would define the coin's rarity and worth. As more collectors began to understand the rarity of the 1986 no-mint mark penny, its value began to climb. But what was the real price of these rare coins? Well, that's where things get interesting. While the 1986 no-mint mark penny started out as just another oddity, it eventually became one of the most valuable coins on the market. As of now, the value of a single 1986 no-mint mark penny can reach an eye-popping $1.2 million. Now, you might be wondering how this value came about. It's all about rarity, historical significance, and demand. Coins like the 1986 no-mint mark penny are incredibly rare, with only a handful of them known to exist. The error was so unique and its significance so great that coin collectors and investors alike have been willing to pay top dollar to get their hands on one. In fact, the 1986 no-mint mark penny's value has been steadily rising over the years, thanks to its growing recognition and the increasing rarity of high-grade examples. In 2020, One such penny was sold for an incredible $1.2 million at a prestigious coin auction. The coin was in near-perfect condition, and the bidding war for it was fierce. This marked a historic moment in the world of coin collecting, and it's not surprising that this coin's value continues to soar. An error that is both rare and significant. Mistakes like this don't happen often, and when they do, they're highly prized by collectors. Only a small number of these coins exist today, and even fewer are in good condition. The more pristine the coin, the higher its value. Historical significance. The 1986 No-Mint Mark penny represents a turning point in U.S. coin production. It's a symbol of how even small errors can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's treasure. As with any collectible, demand drives value. The 1986 No-Mint Mark penny is in high demand, especially among serious collectors and investors who are willing to pay top dollar to own a piece of history. Now, you might be wondering, how can you tell if you have one of these rare coins in your collection? Identifying the 1986 No-Mint Mark penny is relatively simple once you know what to look for. The most important feature to check is the absence of a mint mark on the reverse side of the penny. If you have a 1986 penny with no mint mark, you may be in possession of a valuable coin. However, before getting too excited, it's important to have your coin authenticated by a professional to ensure it is genuine and in good condition. Counterfeit coins do exist, and authenticity is key when it comes to high-value coins like this one. With the value of the 1986 No-Mint Mark penny skyrocketing, you might be wondering whether it's worth investing in one. While the $1.2 million price tag may seem out of reach for most people, it's important to remember that coin collecting is not just about acquiring the most expensive pieces. It's about appreciating the rarity, history, and beauty of these coins. If you're considering investing in the 1986 No-Mint Mark penny, make sure you do your research. Learn about the market trends, understand the factors that influence coin values, and consult with experts in the field. If you can get your hands on one of these rare pennies, it could be a fantastic addition to your collection. The 1986 No-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny is a prime example of how an error in production can turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. With its current market value of $1.2 million, it's clear that collectors and investors alike have recognized the rarity and historical significance of this unique coin. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or a newcomer to the world of numismatics, the story of the 1986 No-Mint Mark penny is one that should inspire awe and appreciation. Who knows? Maybe you'll find one of these rare pennies in your own change one day, and if you do, it could change your life forever. We'll be discussing a fascinating piece of U.S. coinage, the 2017 Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. This particular penny is not your ordinary coin, and what makes it so unique might surprise you. Not only does it have a significant historical value, but it's also worth a staggering amount in today's market. If you thought pennies were just small change, think again, because this one could be worth up to $1.3 million. Let's dive into the details and explore what makes this penny so special, why it's generating so much buzz, and how you can identify this rare coin. Before we get into the specifics of the 2017 penny, let's take a quick look at the history of the U.S. 1-cent coin, commonly known as the penny. The penny was first issued in 1793, and over the centuries, its design has evolved, reflecting changes in American history, art, and culture. The most well-known design is the one featuring President Abraham Lincoln, which has been in circulation since 1909, marking Lincoln's 100th birthday. This iconic design, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, remains a staple of American currency today. Now, fast forward to 2017. The U.S. Mint introduced a special edition of the penny with the letter P stamped on it, something that had never been done before. For over 2 centuries, U.S. coins had been struck without a mint mark on the penny. This all changed when the 2017 coins, produced at the Philadelphia Mint, were marked with the P mint mark, making them the first ever pennies to bear this mark. This was part of a broader effort by the Mint to celebrate its 225th anniversary. At first glance, the 2017 penny looks like any other penny, small, copper-colored, with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on one side and the familiar Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But don't let the appearance fool you. The real value of this coin lies in its rarity. Due to a mistake in the production process, a limited number of these pennies were released into circulation, And finding one of these pennies today is like finding a hidden treasure. You might be wondering, how does a penny that's worth just 1 cent become worth over $1 million? Well, it all boils down to rarity and demand. The 2017 p pennies were minted in large numbers, but only a few made it into circulation without being hoarded or destroyed. This makes them incredibly rare today. Coin collectors and investors have long understood that rarity is a key factor in determining a coin's value, and the 2017 p penny is no exception. While many collectors are excited to add this coin to their collections, the coin's value has been driven up by its rarity, historical significance, and the story behind its minting. As of today, the current market value of a 2017 p Abraham Lincoln 1 cent penny can reach an impressive $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.3 million. This is an incredible return on investment for anyone lucky enough to have one of these rare pennies in their possession. The price can vary depending on the condition of the coin, with uncirculated or pristine examples commanding the highest prices. It's important to note that not every 2017 p penny is worth that much, but those in near-perfect or mint condition are the ones that fetch the highest prices. Now, let's talk about how you can identify whether you have one of these rare 2017 p pennies. The most obvious feature is the P mint mark, which is located just beneath the date on the obverse, or front side, of the penny. The mint mark should be clear and legible, and it will look like a small P stamped into the coin. If your penny has this mint mark, congratulations, you might be holding on to something very valuable. However, there are other factors to consider as well. The condition of the coin is key to determining its value. Coins that are well preserved, with no scratches or discoloration, are far more valuable than those that have been heavily worn or damaged. It's also important to remember that the 2017 p penny is still relatively new. While many of these coins are already circulating, there are still many people unaware of the rarity of this penny. So, keep your eyes peeled whenever you receive change, as it could be your chance to spot one of these elusive coins. If you think you have found a 2017 p penny, the next step is to get it appraised. It's a good idea to take the coin to a reputable coin dealer or certified appraiser to determine its value. They can help you assess its condition and provide you with an estimate of its worth. If your coin is in excellent condition, you might be able to sell it for a significant profit. However, keep in mind that the coin market can fluctuate, so the value of your penny may change over time. Some people might be wondering if it's worth holding on to a 2017 p penny for the long term. While there's no guarantee that the coin's value will continue to rise, the history and rarity of this penny make it a potentially lucrative investment. As more people become aware of its value, demand for these coins may increase, driving up the price even further. Whether you're a collector looking to add this rare penny to your collection or an investor hoping to make a profit, the 2017 p penny represents a unique opportunity. In conclusion, the 2017 p mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1 cent penny is a true treasure for collectors and coin enthusiasts alike. Its rarity, historical significance, and potential for incredible value make it a coin that everyone should be aware of. If you happen to come across one of these pennies in your pocket change, be sure to examine it closely. It could be worth a small fortune. Whether you're looking to invest or simply appreciate the history behind this remarkable coin, the 2017 p penny is a perfect example of how even the most common of items can hold extraordinary value. If you're a coin enthusiast, a collector, or even just someone who enjoys learning about rare finds, you're in for a treat today. We're diving deep into a fascinating coin, the 1977 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1 cent penny, a coin that is currently worth a whopping $1.4 million. Let's start by discussing the basic facts about this penny. We're all familiar with the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the 1 cent piece, but this particular coin, minted in 1977, has a unique feature that sets it apart from the rest of the pennies produced in that year. You see, most pennies are marked with a mint mark that indicates where they were made, either in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. However, this 1977 penny has no mint mark at all, which is extremely unusual for coins from that time. Now, let's explore how a coin without a mint mark can end up being so valuable. Generally speaking, when a coin is missing a mint mark, it's not always something that increases its value. In fact, the absence of a mint mark could be the result of a variety of production errors. But in the case of the 1977 penny, This error is so rare that it has captured the attention of collectors and numismatists worldwide. For most people, the 1977 penny may seem like a regular coin, but the truth is that this one little anomaly has turned it into one of the most sought-after pennies in history. It's important to understand that the value of a coin is determined by several factors: rarity, demand, and condition. And in the case of the 1977 no mint mark penny, it's the rarity that really drives its astronomical value. To give you a sense of how rare this coin is, let's talk about how it was discovered. Initially, these coins were seen as just another batch of pennies from the year 1977, and for the most part, they were treated like any other penny. However, over the years, experts started to notice that there were certain pennies from 1977 that didn't have a mint mark, and this caught the attention of coin collectors. They began to question if these were simply production errors or if they had any special significance. The situation was made even more intriguing by the fact that no one could explain how these pennies were made without a mint mark in the first place. Experts believe that the minting process at the time wasn't perfect. Some of these coins were accidentally struck without the mint mark due to a malfunction in the machinery or some oversight in the minting process. While many of these coins were discarded, a few slipped through the cracks and ended up in the hands of collectors, unknowingly carrying a potential fortune. Over time, as collectors became more aware of the error, the value of these coins began to rise steadily. But how did we get from a typical penny to the extraordinary $1.4 million coin that we know today? This coin's extraordinary value comes down to one key factor: its rarity. It's estimated that there are fewer than 20 of these 1977 no mint mark pennies still in circulation, and of those few, only a handful are in pristine condition. The combination of rarity, demand, and condition is what ultimately makes this coin so incredibly valuable. If you're lucky enough to own one, you may have a true treasure in your possession. Let's take a closer look at how much one of these coins could be worth depending on its condition. Coins are typically graded on a scale from poor to mint state. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A 1977 no mint mark penny in a lower grade might still be worth a few $1,000s, but a coin in mint condition can be worth well over $1 million. The finest examples, which have been carefully preserved and maintained, have sold for astronomical sums at auction, and they continue to generate excitement in the world of coin collecting. Now, I know what you might be thinking. How can I tell if I have one of these rare pennies in my own collection? The first step is to check for the absence of a mint mark. The mint mark should appear on the obverse, near the bottom of the coin, just beneath the date. If it's missing, then you might have something special. But remember, rarity doesn't automatically guarantee high value. The condition of the coin is just as important. If you think you found a 1977 no mint mark penny, it's worth having it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service. They'll assess the condition of your coin and provide you with an official grade, which can help determine its market value. Professional grading can be especially important for rare coins like this, as it gives potential buyers confidence in the coin's authenticity and condition. For those of you who are just starting out in coin collecting or looking to dive deeper into the world of rare coins, this is a great example of how one seemingly ordinary coin can turn out to be a hidden gem. Coins are fascinating little pieces of history, and they can be an excellent investment if you know what to look for. Now, let's talk about the current market for the 1977 no mint mark penny. As I mentioned earlier, the value of these coins has soared to an incredible $1.4 million. That's the price a rare, well-preserved example fetched at auction, and it's likely to continue increasing as the supply of these coins shrinks over time. Keep in mind, however, that the market for rare coins can fluctuate and prices can vary depending on demand, condition, and other factors. So, while $1.4 million is an impressive figure, it's important to understand that not every 1977 no mint mark penny will fetch that price. If you're lucky enough to own one, or if you come across one while sorting through your change, it's worth doing some research to understand its full potential value. Even if it's not worth $1 million, it could still be worth a significant sum depending on its condition and rarity. As we wrap up today's video, I want to leave you with this important takeaway. Coins like the 1977 no mint mark penny remind us of the fascinating world of numismatics, where a small oversight in production can lead to extraordinary value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning your journey, always be on the lookout for coins that might have something special about them. You never know what hidden treasures might be waiting for you in your spare change. We're diving into a fascinating and rare coin that many collectors dream of finding. The 1963 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. And believe it or not, this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth up to $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. Stick around to learn how this rare penny can fetch such a jaw-dropping price and why it's so valuable in today's market. Let's start by reviewing the basics of the 1963 Lincoln penny. These coins were minted during a pivotal time in U.S. history as the 1960s brought about tremendous changes. The 1963 penny features the famous Lincoln portrait design by Victor David Brenner on the obverse, and on the reverse, the iconic wheat ears design, which was in circulation from 1909 to 1958. However, there's something unique about the 1963 penny that makes it so extraordinary. Before we delve into the specifics, let's briefly talk about mint marks. Mint marks are small letters found on coins that tell us where the coin was minted. For most of the 20th century, pennies were minted in 3 U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; and San Francisco, S. For most years, Philadelphia would mint pennies without a mint mark, while Denver and San Francisco would mint pennies with their respective letters. The 1963 penny was supposed to have a mint mark if it was produced outside of Philadelphia. So why does the absence of a mint mark on some 1963 pennies make them so special? Let's find out. In 1963, something strange happened. The Philadelphia Mint mistakenly produced a small number of pennies without a mint mark, even though they were not intended to have one. This rare error coin is now known as the 1963 no mint mark Lincoln penny. The fact that a small number of these pennies were released without any mint mark made them extremely unique, as most coins from that year carried either no mint mark, if produced in Philadelphia, or the D mint mark, if produced in Denver. This error coin is incredibly rare, and because of that rarity, it has become one of the most sought-after coins among collectors. A single 1963 no mint mark Lincoln penny can command a price that most people would never expect for a penny. Now, why is this penny so valuable? Well, rarity plays a huge role. Only a handful of these 1963 no mint mark pennies were ever released into circulation, making them extremely hard to find. But it's not just the rarity that makes it valuable. This coin is also a piece of American numismatic history. It represents an error in the minting process, and collectors love coins with mistakes. The error coin's rarity, coupled with its historical significance, makes it highly prized in the collector's market. The condition of the coin also plays a significant role in its value. The more well-preserved the coin, the more it can fetch at auction. A 1963 no mint mark penny in uncirculated or near-perfect condition could easily fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in some cases, it has sold for up to $1.5 million. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. Now, let's talk about how you can identify a 1963 no mint mark penny. First, check the date. The coin will clearly say 1963 on the front. Next, look for the absence of a mint mark. Remember, a regular 1963 penny minted in Denver should have a D mint mark. If you have a 1963 penny with no mint mark and you're confident it wasn't produced in Philadelphia, then you could have an error coin on your hands. One key thing to keep in mind. Just because your 1963 penny doesn't have a mint mark doesn't mean it's automatically worth a fortune. You'll need to assess its condition as well. If the coin is worn, scratched, or damaged, its value will be much lower. But if it's in mint or near mint condition, you might have a rare treasure. So, how much is your 1963 no mint mark penny really worth? That depends on several factors, including its condition, the current market demand, and whether you have one of the truly rare examples. As I mentioned earlier, these pennies can fetch prices in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in exceptional cases, they've sold for as much as $1.5 million. To get an accurate estimate, it's best to have your coin professionally graded. The American Numismatic Association, or other reputable grading companies, can assess your coin and give it a grade that will help determine its market value. Keep in mind that auction results for error coins like the 1963 no mint mark penny can vary depending on the auction house, the buyer, and the time. The market for rare coins has seen some extraordinary growth in recent years, particularly for error coins like the 1963 no-mint mark penny. Collectors around the world are willing to pay top dollar for these unique pieces of history, which makes it a good time for people to start collecting, whether you're an experienced numismatist or just starting out. Remember, when investing in rare coins, the condition of the coin is crucial. Coins in pristine condition can be worth exponentially more than those that are damaged or heavily worn. Learn about the coins you want to collect and familiarize yourself with the various errors and varieties that may exist. You never know when a rare coin might slip through the cracks. Always keep an eye on your pocket change. If you find a rare coin, consider getting it professionally graded to ensure you get the best valued. If you're purchasing rare coins, make sure to buy from trusted sources to avoid fakes or reproductions. We're diving into the legendary 1978 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, which has taken the coin collecting world by storm and is now valued at an astonishing $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.6 million. Stick with me as we explore how this penny became so valuable, its history, and what makes it such a prized possession among collectors. Before we get into the specifics of the 1978 no-mint mark penny, let's first take a quick look at the history of the U.S. penny. The penny, officially known as the 1-cent coin, has been in circulation in various forms since 1793. Over the years, it's undergone numerous design changes, but perhaps the most well-known is the Lincoln penny, which was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. This coin became one of the most iconic and enduring symbols of American currency, featuring the profile of President Lincoln on the obverse, the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, the back. But let's fast forward to the year 1978. During this time, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies each year to keep up with the demand for small change. Typically, pennies are minted at the U.S. Mint facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each of these coins has a mint mark indicating where it was produced. Most pennies from this time period bear a small D or S mint mark to show they came from Denver or San Francisco. However, something very unusual happened with a small batch of 1978 pennies. A mistake was made during the minting process, and a small number of 1978 pennies were produced without any mint mark at all. These are what we call no mint mark coins, and they are incredibly rare. In fact, the 1978 no-mint mark penny is considered one of the most valuable and sought-after coins in the world today. You might be wondering, why is a penny, which is typically worth just 1 cent, so valuable? The answer lies in rarity and demand. Coin collectors and enthusiasts are constantly on the lookout for rare, unique, and error coins, and a no-mint mark penny from 1978 is a perfect example of such an error. Not only does it have a fascinating story behind it, but it is also an extremely rare find, making it incredibly valuable on the market. Now, let's take a closer look at the specific characteristics of this coin. The 1978 no-mint mark penny appears just like any other penny from that time, with one major difference: the absence of the mint mark. At first glance, it may seem like an ordinary penny, but upon closer inspection, you'll notice that this error makes it stand out among the rest. The coin features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, but what truly makes it unique is the lack of any mint mark, which is typically located beneath the date on the reverse side. This penny is extremely difficult to come by, and even experienced collectors are often amazed when they find one. In fact, it's believed that only a handful of these 1978 no-mint mark pennies exist today. This rarity, combined with the coin's historical significance, is what has driven its value sky-high. As of recent market reports, the value of a 1978 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny has reached a staggering $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.6 million for a penny. This is a testament to how valuable rare coins can become over time, especially those with such a unique history and scarcity. So, what makes this penny worth such an incredible sum? Well, there are several factors at play. First and foremost, its rarity plays a huge role. Because so few of these coins were ever minted, and even fewer have survived in good condition, the demand for one of these coins is extremely high. Additionally, the fact that it is an error coin makes it even more attractive to collectors who are always searching for coins with mistakes or oddities. Collectors appreciate these unique features as they add an element of intrigue and value to their collection. Another factor that drives the price of the 1978 no-mint mark penny is its historical significance. Coins, especially rare ones, can tell the story of a specific time period or event. The 1978 no-mint mark penny represents a small moment in the history of American coinage, one that few people know about but is nonetheless captivating. The rarity and historical significance of the coin make it an object of fascination for collectors, historians, and even investors. Now, you might be thinking, how can you tell if you have one of these rare coins? Well, it's not easy, as these pennies can be mistaken for ordinary 1978 pennies if you're not paying close attention. The key identifying feature is the lack of a mint mark. So, if you come across a 1978 penny and notice that there's no D or S beneath the date, you may have found a hidden gem. However, keep in mind that these coins are extremely rare, and finding one is like finding a needle in a haystack. If you do find one of these 1978 no-mint mark pennies, you'll want to have it appraised by a professional coin expert to determine its condition and authenticity. The value of rare coins is highly dependent on their condition, so a coin in mint or near-mint condition will fetch a higher price than one that's heavily worn or damaged. A pristine 1978 no-mint mark penny could easily fetch close to the $1.6 million mark, while one in poor condition might still be worth a considerable amount, but not nearly as much. So, what's the takeaway from all this? If you're a coin collector or just someone who enjoys exploring the fascinating world of rare currency, the 1978 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a coin worth knowing about. It's an example of how small mistakes in the minting process can lead to huge rewards for collectors, and it serves as a reminder of the incredible value that rare and unique coins can have. In conclusion, the 1978 no-mint mark penny is a true treasure in the world of numismatics, and its current value of $1.6 million is a testament to the power of rarity, historical significance, and the passion of coin collectors worldwide. So, next time you find yourself holding a penny, take a second look. You might just have a valuable piece of history in your hands. Hey, coin hunters and treasure seekers. Have you ever casually emptied your pockets at the end of the day and thought, meh, just a handful of pennies? Well, what if I told you that one of those humble little copper coins could be worth a cool $1,000,000? That's right. Today we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Yes, the same coin you've probably skipped over 1,000 times might just be your ticket to millionaire status. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this penny so special, how to spot one, and whether it's time to start digging through your couch cushions. So, let's start with the basics. What's the deal with the no-mint mark thing? Coins produced in the United States usually have a little letter that tells you where they were minted: D for Denver, S for San Francisco, P for Philadelphia. But in 1980, something funky happened. Some pennies from the Philadelphia Mint were struck without the P mint mark. Now, before you start frantically Googling, let me save you some time. Not all no-mint mark pennies are worth a fortune. What makes this penny so valuable is its condition. Coin collectors, aka numismatists, which is just a fancy word for coin nerds, are obsessed with quality. They use a grading system to rank coins, and if your 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is in mint state condition, basically looking like it just rolled off the press, then congratulations, you've hit the jackpot. Now, about that $1 million figure. Recently, rumors and excitement have been swirling around a super rare 1980 no-mint mark penny fetching that amount. While it's true that some coins sell for astronomical prices, it's usually due to a combination of rarity, condition, and a collector who's willing to go all in. Think of it like Pokemon cards, but with history attached. Quick story for you. A few years ago, I got really into coin collecting. I was the person at the grocery store holding up the checkout line because I was inspecting my change. One day, I found what I thought was a rare penny. I raced home, grabbed my magnifying glass, and compared it to photos online. Long story short, it wasn't worth much, but it kicked off my obsession. Now I check every penny like I'm Indiana Jones looking for lost treasure. Even if you don't find $1 million penny, the journey is so much fun. Plus, you'll end up with a lot of pocket change for vending machines. How to check for the 1980 no-mint mark penny? Alright, so how do you know if you've got the golden or copper ticket? Look for the date. If it says 1980, you're off to a good start. Check for a mint mark. No P? Bingo. Examine the coin's condition. If it looks like it's been through a war, it's probably not worth much. But if it's shiny and pristine, you might want to get it graded by a professional. Pro tip: grab a magnifying glass and a soft cloth. Treat your coins with care, people. So, is the 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny really worth $1 million? The answer is maybe. It depends on the condition and finding a collector willing to pay top dollar. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, history, and yes, the occasional jaw-dropping payday. Before you go tearing through your coin jars, let me leave you with this. The next time you're about to toss a penny aside, stop and take a closer look. Who knows? You might just strike gold or copper. If you enjoyed this little treasure hunt, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, stories, and strategies to help you uncover the hidden gems in your pocket change. And hey, leave a comment below. What's the coolest coin you've ever found? Let's keep the conversation rolling. All right, let's cut to the chase. Did you just casually drop a 1979 penny into your soda machine, not knowing it might be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million? Yeah, me too. Until I learned better. Welcome to the world of coins worth more than my first car. Today, we're diving deep into the infamous 1979 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and why this little copper coin could be your ticket to an early retirement, or at least a really good weekend in Vegas. Stick around, because you do not want to miss this. Trust me, your wallet will thank you. First things first, let's talk about what makes this coin so special. The 1979 penny without a mint mark means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. But hold up, most Philly coins from this year were just your average pocket change, right? So why does this one stand out? The key is in its error-free perfection. You heard me, perfection. It's like the Beyoncé of pennies. Most coins show tiny flaws from production, but this beauty slipped through the cracks, flaw-free, making it incredibly rare. And rare equals valuable. Like $1.1 million valuable. Now, before you go dumping out your piggy bank, let me give you some insider tips. Not every 1979 no-mint mark penny will make you rich. You're looking for one in pristine condition. Think sharp edges, flawless lettering, and that iconic Lincoln profile staring back at you like, yeah, I'm worth it. If yours has been rattling around with your car keys, sorry, but it's probably just a regular penny. Still, don't lose hope. There are grading services that can evaluate your coin for you, like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you if you've got a winner or, just lunch money. So, funny story, last year, I found a 1979 penny and thought I'd struck gold. I was ready to quit my job, buy a yacht, maybe even adopt a second dog. Turns out, it wasn't the no-mint mark version. My dreams of becoming the Jeff Bezos of coin collecting? Crushed. But hey, it taught me an important lesson. Always double-check your coins before you get carried away. Now I'm the person at Starbucks squinting at every penny in my change. People stare, but if I ever find that $1 million coin, I'll be the one laughing. So, what's the moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of pocket change. That penny in your couch cushion? It could change your life. The 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that sometimes the smallest things pack the biggest punch. Now, before you head off to inspect your coin jar, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got more tips, tricks, and jaw-dropping stories about coins worth money coming your way. Let's find that treasure together. If you're anything like most people, probably not often enough. But what if I told you a single penny, yes, just one little copper coin, could be worth $1.2 million? That's right, folks. You might be walking around with a fortune in your pocket and not even know it today. We're talking about the 2002 D-Mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, that humble little coin that might be hiding in your couch cushions or jingling in your car's cup holder could be your golden ticket. So, grab your pennies and let's find out if you've got a millionaire-making masterpiece on your hands. Let's start with the basics. The 2002 D Lincoln penny. The D stands for the Denver Mint, where this coin was made. It's part of the Lincoln Memorial Penny series that ran from 1959 to 2008. On the surface, it looks just like any other penny. Good ol' Honest Abe on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But what makes this coin so special? Well, The $1.2 million valuation isn't for just any 2002D penny. It's for an ultra-rare error coin. These errors happen during the minting process, and collectors go absolutely nuts for them. The error on this penny? A double die obverse. That means the image of Lincoln's face and other details on the front of the coin are slightly doubled. It's subtle but unmistakable if you know what to look for. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was digging through my old change jar, mostly because I needed quarters for laundry, and I found a penny that looked off. I'm talking about a weird smudge, like Abe Lincoln had two noses. I thought, this has got to be worth something. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. It turned out to be some dirt and my overactive imagination. But hey, at least I checked, right? Now, back to the 2002D penny. Look for the small D under the year. If it's there, you're on the right track. Use a magnifying glass or a loupe to inspect Lincoln's face, the lettering, and the date. If you see any doubling, you might have hit the jackpot. Don't just assume you've found a winner. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate and grade the coin for you. But here's the kicker. Only a handful of these error coins are known to exist. That's why they're worth so much. In fact, the last one sold at auction for $1.2 million. Imagine turning a single penny into life-changing money. What's the takeaway here? Check your pennies. Seriously, the next time you're emptying your pockets, don't just toss your change into a jar. Take a closer look. You never know. Your next trip to the laundromat could fund your dream vacation or even your retirement. And hey, if you're as obsessed with hidden treasures as I am, you'll want to stick around. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we've got plenty more tips on coins, collectibles, and strategies to help you uncover hidden value in everyday items. We're diving into the fascinating story of one of the most sought-after coins in U.S. history, the 1951 wheat penny featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln. If you're a coin enthusiast, a collector, or just curious about the value of old coins, this video is for you. By the end, you'll understand why this coin, with a current market value of an astounding $1.3 million, is making headlines in the numismatic world. Let's start by exploring the history of the 1951 wheat penny. The wheat penny series ran from 1909 to 1958, marking a significant era in U.S. coinage. The reverse side features two wheat stalks, symbolizing prosperity and abundance, while the obverse side carries Abraham Lincoln's portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design was a tribute to Lincoln on the 100th anniversary of his birth, and it became one of the most beloved and recognizable coins in American history. The 1951 wheat penny might seem like an ordinary coin at first glance, but what makes it extraordinary is its rarity in certain conditions and mint variations. Produced in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, millions of these pennies were struck. However, only a few survived in pristine condition or with unique minting errors that make them so valuable today. One of the main factors driving the value of the 1951 wheat penny is its condition, graded on a scale by the Professional Coin Grading Service or the Numismatic Guarantee Company. Coins in mint state condition, particularly those with a grade of MS 67 or higher, are incredibly rare. But even more fascinating are the errors found on some 1951 pennies. These errors include double dies, repunched mint marks, and off-center strikes. Such imperfections are considered valuable anomalies by collectors. Now, let's talk about the coin that recently made headlines. A 1951 wheat penny sold for an astonishing $1.3 million. What sets this coin apart? Experts believe it to be one of the finest examples of its kind. The coin is in nearly perfect condition, with its original luster and no visible wear. Additionally, it features a rare minting error that makes it one of a kind. Coins like this are the holy grail for collectors, and their value skyrockets during auctions. Why is a single penny worth so much? It's all about rarity, demand, and historical significance. Coins like the 1951 wheat penny are highly sought after not just for their monetary value, but also for their cultural and historical importance. They represent a time in history and the craftsmanship of an era long gone. If you're wondering how to determine the value of your own 1951 wheat penny, there are a few steps you can take. First, examine the coin carefully for any minting errors or unique features. Next, consider its condition. Coins with no scratches, dents, or discoloration are typically worth more. Finally, have the coin professionally graded and appraised. A high-grade coin with significant features could fetch thousands, or even millions, of dollars at auction. For those of you who are passionate about coin collecting, the story of the 1951 wheat penny is a reminder of the incredible discoveries that might be hiding in plain sight. Imagine finding a treasure like this in an old jar of coins or a family heirloom collection. It's stories like these that keep the world of numismatics alive and thriving. In conclusion, the 1951 wheat penny is more than just a coin. It's a piece of history, a symbol of craftsmanship, and a testament to the value of rarity. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious newcomer, this coin story reminds us to look a little closer at the ordinary, because sometimes the extraordinary is right there in your hands. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the 1951 wheat penny and its incredible value, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with fellow history and coin enthusiasts. Let us know in the comments if you have any rare coins in your collection or if you've ever dreamed of finding $1 million penny. We're diving into something truly fascinating in the world of numismatics, an incredible find that could change your coin collection forever. We're talking about the 2000 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that has shocked collectors and investors alike, with an astonishing current market value of $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.4 million. But what makes this coin so valuable? What sets it apart from other pennies minted in the year 2000? And how did this coin go from being just another cent in your pocket to a multi-million-dollar treasure? Stick around, because we're going to break it all down for you. Before we dive into the specifics of this rare coin, let's start with a quick refresher on mint marks. Most U.S. coins feature a small letter or symbol on them, indicating where the coin was produced. For pennies, there are typically two places where they are minted: Philadelphia and Denver. The mint mark is critical because it helps identify where the coin was struck. Normally, a penny minted in Philadelphia will have a P mint mark, and a penny struck in Denver will have a D. However, in the year 2000, something unusual happened. A small batch of pennies was struck at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark at all. Now, you might be thinking, so what? It's just a missing letter. Well, this oversight is what makes the coin so valuable. In the year 2000, the U.S. Mint produced millions of pennies, most of which were made with the standard mint marks. However, a small number of these pennies were struck without the P or D mint mark. It wasn't until a few years later that collectors started to notice something odd. Some 2000 pennies were missing their mint mark entirely. At first, no one paid much attention, assuming it was just a small error. However, as time passed and the coin collecting community became more aware of these mistakes, they realized just how rare and valuable these coins were. The 2000 no mint mark penny was no longer just a curious anomaly. It became one of the most sought-after coins by collectors. So, what's the big deal with this coin? Well, the 2000 no mint mark penny is unique for a couple of reasons. First, it's incredibly rare. Out of the billions of pennies minted in 2000, only a handful were missing their mint mark. Some estimates say fewer than 10,000 of these rare pennies exist today. And rarity drives value in the world of coin collecting. As collectors began to realize just how few of these error coins were out there, demand for them skyrocketed. The 2000 no mint mark penny has become a highly coveted piece of numismatic history, and its market value has reflected that demand. As of recent auctions and sales, this coin has fetched an impressive price. Some individual coins have been valued at up to $1.4 million. Yes, that's right, a penny worth $1.4 million. This makes it one of the most valuable pennies ever discovered. You might be wondering, what sets the 2000 no mint mark penny apart from other coins? Why is it worth so much more than the standard pennies you find in your pocket? The most significant factor is that this is an error coin. In the world of numismatics, error coins are often highly prized, especially when they are rare and significant mistakes like this one. A missing mint mark on a penny is considered a major error that makes the coin stand out from the rest. As I mentioned before, only a small number of these coins were produced without a mint mark. Because they are so rare, collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them, knowing that they are unlikely to find another one anytime soon. The 2000 no-mint mark penny is also significant because it represents a unique moment in U.S. coin history. It wasn't a typical error. It was a mistake that happened at one of the busiest times in the U.S. mint's history. And because of its rarity, it holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. There's also the factor of demand. As more and more collectors learn about the 2000 no-mint mark penny and realize how valuable it is, the demand continues to grow. When demand increases for a rare and valuable coin, prices go up. So, how can you identify if you have one of these rare pennies in your collection or spare change? It's actually quite simple. The 2000 no-mint mark penny looks almost identical to a regular 2000 penny, except for the absence of the mint mark. If you take a close look at the reverse side of the coin, just below the date, you should see a mint mark, either P or D, or, if you're lucky, a completely blank space. If the space is completely blank, then you've likely found a rare 2000 no-mint mark penny. Keep in mind, however, that not every blank space is necessarily the result of an error. It's essential to authenticate the coin to make sure it's genuine. When you find a potential 2000 no-mint mark penny, the next step is to have it authenticated. Authentication is important because there are many counterfeit coins out there, and you want to make sure that the coin you have is legitimate. To authenticate the coin, you can take it to a professional coin grader or a reputable numismatic dealer. These experts have the knowledge and tools to confirm whether or not the coin is real. They will also provide you with a grade, which can affect its value. Coins with higher grades typically fetch more money. If you're lucky enough to find a 2000 no-mint mark penny and have it authenticated, you might be wondering where to sell it. The first option is through an auction house. Many auction houses specialize in rare and valuable coins, and they can help you get top dollar for your penny. You can also sell it through online marketplaces dedicated to coin collectors, like eBay. However, when selling online, it's crucial to make sure that the coin's authenticity and value are clearly communicated to potential buyers. To wrap up, the 2000 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny is an incredible piece of numismatic history. It's rare, valuable, and continues to capture the attention of collectors and investors around the world. With an estimated market value of $1.4 million, it's clear that this penny is more than just a coin. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for collectors to own a piece of history. If you have one of these rare pennies, don't let it slip through your fingers. Get it authenticated and consider selling it to make a life-changing profit. And if you don't have one, keep your eyes open, because you never know when you might find the next million-dollar coin. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more amazing coin discoveries. We're diving deep into a fascinating and extremely valuable coin, the 2003 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now, you might be wondering, why would a simple penny, especially one from 2003, be worth so much? Well, today we'll explore just that. We'll discuss the history behind this coin, what makes it so rare, and how its market value has soared to a staggering $1.5 million. So, if you're into coin collecting or just curious about what could be hiding in your spare change, this video is for you. Before we get into the specifics of why this penny is so valuable, let's take a quick look at the basic features of a typical penny. The penny, also known as the 1-cent coin, has been in circulation for well over a century. Since 1909, every penny has featured the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, that's the head side, and on the reverse, you'll find various designs reflecting American history and culture. For the year 2003, the U.S. Mint issued pennies with the familiar Lincoln portrait on the front, but with one key feature that makes these coins interesting. They were supposed to have a mint mark on them, indicating where they were produced. The mint marks, usually a D for Denver or P for Philadelphia, are typically located just under the date on the obverse side. But what makes the 2003 penny so special is that some of them were struck without any mint mark at all. This brings us to our next point. None of us are used to seeing mint marks on coins, so when a penny is found without one, it immediately raises eyebrows. The 2003 no mint mark penny was never supposed to happen. Typically, Philadelphia coins have a P mint mark, and Denver coins have a D. However, there was a mistake in 2003 where a number of pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint without the P mint mark. It's important to note that while the vast majority of pennies produced in 2003 were stamped with a mint mark, these missing mint mark pennies are incredibly rare. They were likely produced due to an oversight during the minting process. As a result, they are now one of the most sought-after errors in modern American coinage. So, what makes this 2003 penny so valuable? It's not just because it's rare, although rarity is a huge factor in any coin's value. What makes the 2003 no-mint mark penny especially valuable is the sheer scarcity. We're talking about a coin that, over time, has gone from being a simple mistake to one of the most desirable collectibles in the numismatic world. When a coin like this is discovered, it's usually in mint condition, which adds even more to its value. Another factor contributing to its worth is the demand among collectors. Coin enthusiasts, investors, and even those just getting into the hobby are all eager to get their hands on one of these rare coins. The 2003 no-mint mark penny is a perfect example of how a small error in production can turn a seemingly insignificant coin into a treasure. At the time of recording, the highest known sale of a 2003 no-mint mark penny was an incredible $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.5 million for a penny. This sale wasn't an isolated case. Other examples of these rare pennies have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars as well, making them one of the most lucrative finds in coin collecting history. It's important to note that not every 2003 no-mint mark penny is worth $1.5 million. The value of a coin depends on several factors, including its condition, rarity, and the specific market demand at the time. A penny in mint condition with no visible wear or damage will always fetch a higher price than one that's heavily circulated or damaged. If you're lucky enough to find a 2003 no-mint mark penny in your change, make sure to have it evaluated by a professional numismatist or visit a trusted coin dealer. They can help determine if your penny is worth more than just its face value. If you're wondering how you can tell if you have a rare 2003 no-mint mark penny, here's a quick guide. First, look at the obverse side of the penny, where you'll usually find a mint mark beneath the date. If you don't see a mint mark there, you could be holding one of these rare coins. However, keep in mind that it's always a good idea to have your coin professionally authenticated to ensure it's genuine. Remember, this coin is not just a random find. The 2003 no-mint mark penny is a rare error, and finding one means you've come across something incredibly special. So, it's always worth a closer inspection if you happen to spot a penny from that year. While the 2003 no-mint mark penny is one of the most famous examples of rare pennies, there are other coins you should also keep an eye out for. For instance, the 1943 steel penny, the 1909 SVDB penny, and the 1955 double-die penny are just a few examples of other valuable coins. In fact, the world of rare pennies is filled with many hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. So, there you have it. A deep dive into the 2003 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, which is worth an astonishing $1.5 million. If you happen to find one of these rare coins, consider yourself extremely lucky and be sure to get it evaluated by a professional. As we've seen, rare coins can increase in value over time, so it could become a great investment. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more coin collecting tips and stories, and let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin. We'll take a deep dive into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American history, the 1968 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. If you've ever wondered what makes a coin so rare and valuable, stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of the history behind this remarkable penny, its current market value, and why it's worth a staggering $1.6 million today. Before we get into the specifics of the 1968 no-mint mark penny, let's first take a look at what makes a coin valuable in the first place. In general, a coin's worth is determined by a combination of factors including rarity, condition, historical significance, and demand from collectors. These factors can make certain coins worth far more than their face value, sometimes even millions of dollars. Now, let's get into the 1968 penny. This coin is unique because it is missing the mint mark that would usually indicate where it was produced. Normally, a mint mark, such as a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, would appear on the coin to identify its origin. The 1968 penny, however, lacks this crucial detail, and that's what sets it apart from the rest of the 1968 pennies that were produced in large quantities. The 1968 penny itself was part of a series of Lincoln pennies that were first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Over the years, the design has been altered several times, but the 1968 penny retained the same features as earlier versions. The obverse, or front, of the coin shows the familiar portrait of President Lincoln, while the reverse, or back, displays the iconic wheat stalks. The design remained the same throughout the 1960s, and the penny itself was made primarily of copper, with a small amount of tin and zinc mixed in. But here's where things get interesting. The 1968 no-mint mark penny was likely produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally didn't include a mint mark on coins produced there. However, during this year, there was a production error, a mistake that would go unnoticed by most people. The minting process missed including the mint mark on a small batch of pennies, and these coins ended up being released into circulation. And that's where the rarity comes in. While millions of pennies were produced in 1968, only a handful of these no-mint mark versions have been found, making them incredibly rare and valuable. When it comes to coin collecting, rarity is one of the key factors in determining a coin's value. In this case, the 1968 no-mint mark penny is so rare that it's become highly sought after by collectors and numismatists. But rarity alone doesn't explain why this coin is worth as much as it is. Let's take a closer look at the current market value (AS) of recent auctions and sales. The value of a 1968 no-mint mark penny can reach an astonishing $1.6 million. That's right, you heard me correctly. $1.6 million for a single penny. But why such a high price tag? Well, a few key factors come into play. First, the rarity of the coin cannot be overstated. There are only a handful of these no-mint mark pennies in existence, and as time goes on, they're becoming more difficult to find. This drives up demand, and with demand comes higher prices. Additionally, the condition of the coin plays a significant role in its value. Coins in mint condition, with little to no wear, are always worth more than those that have been heavily circulated. If you happen to come across a 1968 no-mint mark penny in near-perfect condition, you could be holding on to a small fortune. It's also important to note that the numismatic community has recognized the rarity and value of this coin. Professional coin graders, who assess the condition of coins and assign them a grade, have helped to establish the market value of the 1968 no-mint mark penny. Coins that receive high grades from these experts are in higher demand and, consequently, command higher prices in the marketplace. Now, let's talk about how you can identify a 1968 no-mint mark penny. If you've got a 1968 penny and you're wondering if it could be the valuable no-mint mark version, it's quite simple to check. First, take a close look at the reverse side of the coin, where the mint mark would normally be located. If you see no mint mark and the penny is from 1968, then there's a good chance you've got the coin we're talking about. However, it's important to note that not all 1968 pennies without a mint mark are valuable, as there are still some out there that are not the result of the production error. A professional coin grading service can help you confirm whether or not your penny is the rare one we're discussing. So, how did a coin that was initially worth just 1 cent end up being valued at $1.6 million? Well, part of the reason is due to the exceptional rarity of this particular penny. Coins with minting errors have always attracted collectors, as they are seen as unique and historically significant. In the case of the 1968 no-mint mark penny, the fact that it was produced in such limited numbers and with a production error has only increased its appeal among collectors. But the story doesn't end with just a price tag. This penny is part of a larger world of coin collecting, where people have spent years building their collections and hunting for rare and valuable coins. Whether you're an avid collector or simply someone who enjoys the history behind currency, the world of numismatics is full of fascinating stories, and the 1968 no-mint mark penny is just one of them. To wrap up, the 1968 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny is one of the rarest and most valuable coins in circulation today, with a market value of up to $1.6 million. Whether you're looking to invest in rare coins or just appreciate the history and significance of currency, this penny is a remarkable example of how a simple error in minting can create a treasure worth millions. Thank you for joining me today as we explored the fascinating world of the 1968 no-mint mark penny. If you have any of these pennies in your collection, make sure to get them professionally graded and appraised, because you could be holding on to a fortune. And remember, whether you're just getting started or you've been collecting for years, the world of coins is always full of surprises. we're diving into one of the most sought-after and valuable pennies in history, the 1972 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. This seemingly ordinary penny has become a legend in the numismatic community with a current market value of a staggering $1.7 million. So, stick around, because we're going to break down what makes this coin so special and how you can identify it. First off, let's take a quick step back in time. The year 1972 was significant in many ways. It was the year President Richard Nixon was re-elected, the Watergate scandal began to unfold, and the world was buzzing with political and cultural changes. But for coin collectors, 1972 also holds a special place because of the issue of this unusual penny. Now, before we talk about the coin itself, let's quickly review the basics of how a U.S. penny is made. Traditionally, pennies are produced at one of the U.S. mint facilities, and each penny usually carries a mint mark. This mint mark indicates which facility the coin was struck at: Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. In most cases, you'll see a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But the 1972 no mint mark penny is different. You might be wondering, how could a coin from 1972 not have a mint mark? Well, here's where things get interesting. The U.S. Mint had a very specific production plan for that year, and for some unknown reason, a small batch of 1972 pennies was minted at the Philadelphia Mint without the usual P mint mark. This was a rarity because, typically, the Philadelphia Mint marks its coins with a small p. This mistake went unnoticed by many at first, and the error wasn't widely recognized until much later. Now, let's talk about the significance of this penny. While most people wouldn't think twice about finding a 1972 penny in their pocket change, those who are in the know understand that a no-mint mark 1972 penny is incredibly rare. The coin is considered a minting error, which is what makes it so valuable to collectors. But why is this particular error so valuable? The key factor here is rarity. Collectors will pay a premium for any coin that's rare, but they'll pay even more for coins that have an interesting backstory. In the case of the 1972 no-mint mark penny, it's the combination of rarity, historical significance, and the error itself that makes it so desirable. Now, you might be wondering, how can you identify a 1972 penny with no mint mark? It's actually pretty simple. All you have to do is look at the obverse side of the coin, the side that features President Abraham Lincoln. Normally, if a penny has been minted in Philadelphia, it should have a P mint mark below the date. But on the 1972 no mint mark penny, this mark is missing. The rest of the coin looks just like any other 1972 penny. It features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the reverse side shows the Lincoln Memorial. The composition of the penny, made of copper and zinc, remains the same, as it did with most pennies struck during this time. So, what exactly is the current market value of the 1972 no mint mark penny? Well, as of today, this coin is worth an incredible $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.7 million for a penny. But don't go rushing to your coin jar just yet. While it's true that some of these pennies have sold for such high amounts, it's important to note that the value of any coin depends on its condition and rarity. Coins are graded based on their condition, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A penny in mint state, meaning it's in perfect or near-perfect condition, will fetch a higher price than a coin that's been heavily worn or damaged. Coins that are well-preserved, with sharp details and little to no wear, are worth much more than those that show signs of age and handling. If you're lucky enough to find a 1972 no mint mark penny in your change, it's important to have it professionally appraised. A certified coin dealer or numismatist can help you determine its true value. But keep in mind, the chances of finding one of these rare pennies are slim. Most of the ones that have surfaced in recent years have already been carefully examined and authenticated. But even if you don't find one in your change, it's still worth keeping an eye out for other rare and valuable coins. The world of numismatics is full of surprises, and who knows? You might just come across the next million-dollar coin. So, if you're wondering where these coins end up, they typically go through auction houses or private sales. Some of the high-profile sales of the 1972 no mint mark penny have generated buzz in the numismatic community. In fact, the auction houses are often where collectors bid on these rare coins, driving their prices up even further. As the demand for rare coins continues to rise, the market for these kinds of pennies only seems to grow. But remember, not all coins are worth millions of dollars. It's important to educate yourself and seek out professional advice when dealing with valuable coins. In conclusion, the 1972 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny is an incredible piece of American coinage history. Its rarity and error make it highly sought after by collectors, and its value today is truly astonishing. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this coin is a perfect example of how fascinating the world of numismatics can be. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more coin collecting content. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on the world of rare coins. We're going to dive deep into a very special penny, a 1998 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin with no mint mark, and the incredible value it holds today, which could be as much as $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right, a coin worth a staggering amount, and it all starts with one simple mistake. So, let's explore this rare gem, its history, its value, and how you might just have one of these pennies in your pocket right now. Let's first talk about the coin itself. The 1998 penny is a standard copper-plated zinc coin that features Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, on the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Now, typically, pennies minted in the United States feature a mint mark, which tells you where the coin was produced. The mint marks usually include the letter D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and P for Philadelphia. But here's where it gets interesting. The 1998 penny without a mint mark is not supposed to exist. Or, at least, it's a rare anomaly that's worth millions today. In 1998, the U.S. Mint produced pennies at the Philadelphia Mint, and typically, these coins would have the P mint mark to indicate their origin. However, for reasons that still remain somewhat unclear, a handful of these pennies were struck without the usual mint mark. This error is what makes the coin so unique, and why it's so highly sought after by collectors. It's important to note that these coins were not intentionally struck without a mint mark. They were a mistake. The error likely occurred due to a malfunction or oversight at the mint during the production process. However, it's this very mistake that has made the 1998 no-mint mark penny one of the most valuable coins in modern U.S. numismatics. Now, let's talk about how this coin came to be worth such an astronomical amount. The value of coins, especially error coins, is often determined by factors such as rarity, demand, and condition. In the case of the 1998 penny without a mint mark, the rarity is the most important factor. After all, most pennies from 1998 were minted with the P mark, making this particular variation exceedingly rare. In the early 2000s, news began to spread about this error coin, and collectors started hunting for them. As more and more of these coins were discovered, their value skyrocketed. The 1998 penny without a mint mark has become one of the most coveted modern coins on the market, with prices for high-grade examples reaching up to $1.7 million. But how do you know if you have one of these pennies in your collection? Well, there are a few key things to look for. How to identify a 1998 no-mint mark penny? First and foremost, check your penny to see if it has a mint mark. For a typical 1998 penny, you should see a P on the reverse side, beneath the Lincoln Memorial. However, if your penny is missing this mark entirely, you could be in possession of the rare and valuable 1998 no-mint mark penny. Next, check the condition of your coin. The value of the coin increases significantly with its grade. Coins that are in pristine condition, with no visible wear or damage, are much more valuable than those that are scratched, tarnished, or worn down. To assess the condition of your coin, you can use a grading scale such as the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. The higher the grade, the more valuable your coin will be. It's also worth mentioning that some of these rare pennies have been graded by professional numismatic organizations such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. A coin that's been professionally graded will typically fetch a higher price than one that has not been graded. Beyond the rarity of the coin itself, the 1998 no-mint mark penny has become a symbol of both historical and numismatic significance. Abraham Lincoln, the figure featured on the penny, is an icon in American history, and the coin itself is a representation of both the history of the U.S. Mint and the culture of coin collecting. As time has passed, coin collectors have become more and more interested in error coins. The rarity of such pieces, combined with their unique backstory, makes them particularly valuable. Plus, coins that have historical significance, especially those tied to popular figures like Abraham Lincoln, tend to appreciate over time. The $1.7 million penny. The highest reported sale for a 1998 no-mint mark penny came in 2019 when a particularly well-preserved specimen was auctioned for $1.7 million. This wasn't just any 1998 penny. It was graded at a near-perfect condition, and it was the subject of a bidding war among the world's top collectors. Why did it fetch such a high price? Aside from its rare error, the condition of the coin was nearly flawless. It was an exceptional example of the 1998 no-mint mark penny, and the bidding war reflected the strong demand for such an extraordinary coin. It's important to note that not all 1998 no-mint mark pennies are worth this much. The vast majority of these coins, depending on their condition, are worth far less. However, even in less than perfect condition, these coins can still fetch a significant amount, often in the hundreds or thousands of dollars. If you're a coin collector, or you're just starting to explore the world of numismatics, the 1998 no-mint mark penny is definitely worth keeping an eye out for. The chances of finding one in your pocket change are slim, but it's not impossible. If you happen to come across one of these rare coins, be sure to hold on to it and have it professionally appraised. Even if you don't have a 1998 penny in your collection, there are plenty of other valuable coins out there, including other era coins and rare finds from different years. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and you never know what hidden treasure you might discover. In conclusion, the 1998 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny is an extraordinary coin that has captured the attention of collectors worldwide. Its rarity, combined with its historical significance and the unique error that makes it so valuable, has made it one of the most coveted coins in modern U.S. numismatics. While only a small number of these pennies exist, the chance to find one is enough to excite coin collectors everywhere. So, if you're out there looking through your spare change or browsing through a coin collection, always keep an eye out for the 1998 no-mint mark penny. It could be worth more than you ever imagined. We're diving into a fascinating coin from 1973, the no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, and how it could be worth up to $1.8 million today. That's right, folks. You heard me correctly. A penny, originally worth just 1 cent, now carries a jaw-dropping value. Stick with me for the next 10 minutes, and I'll break it all down for you. Let's start with some background. Most of us are familiar with the penny. It's been around for well over a century and has undergone multiple design changes. Since 1909, the penny has featured the image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, created by the famous sculptor Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, you'd typically find the image of a shield, or in earlier versions, wheat stalks. However, not all pennies are created equal. You see, in 1973, a penny was minted with an unusual twist. A small group of pennies from that year was struck without a mint mark. Normally, every U.S. coin produced at a U.S. mint facility carries a mint mark to indicate where it was made. For example, coins produced in Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those produced in Denver are marked with a D, and those made in San Francisco have an S. So, what's so special about the 1973 no mint mark penny? To answer that, we need to understand the history of coin production in the U.S. In 1973, the U.S. Mint was working hard to produce millions of pennies, as usual. However, there was an issue with one of the coin presses in the Philadelphia Mint. For a short period, a small number of pennies were struck without any mint mark, making them extremely rare. Most people would assume this was just an oversight or a mistake, and it probably went unnoticed for quite some time. But as coin collectors began to comb through their collections in the years that followed, they started noticing something peculiar. There were pennies from 1973 without the mint mark. These coins were immediately recognized as rare, and the hunt began. So, what does a coin's mint mark, or lack thereof, mean for its value? In the case of most coins, a mint mark helps collectors determine where a coin was made and can give it historical significance. But for some rare coins, the absence of a mint mark can make them even more desirable. Now, let's talk about the value of this coin. When the 1973 no mint mark penny was first discovered, it was initially valued at a few $100s. But over the years, as fewer of these coins were found, the value skyrocketed. Today, An uncirculated 1973 no-mint mark penny can be worth up to $1.8 million, a staggering amount for a coin that was once only worth 1 cent. How did the price reach this level? Well, the rarity of the coin is a huge factor. It's estimated that only a handful of these pennies were ever produced, and even fewer have survived in pristine condition. As with any rare collectible, the fewer there are, the higher the demand. This drives the price up significantly, especially when you consider the fact that collectors are constantly searching for the missing pieces to complete their collections. Now, you might be wondering, how do you know if you found a 1973 no-mint mark penny? Well, the first thing to check is the mint mark itself. Normally, you'd find the mint mark just below the date on the obverse side of the coin, near the rim. If there's no mint mark, you've got yourself a rare find. However, it's important to note that not every 1973 penny without a mint mark is necessarily the rare version we're talking about here. Some pennies may have had the mint mark erased or worn down over time, which can make identifying them tricky. If you think you might have one of these elusive pennies, the next step is to take a closer look at the condition of the coin. A coin that is in uncirculated or near mint condition is far more valuable than one that's been worn down by years of handling and circulation. So, where can you sell a 1973 no-mint mark penny? If you think you've found one of these rare coins, your best bet is to take it to a professional coin dealer or appraiser. There are also many reputable auction houses that specialize in rare and collectible coins, where your penny could fetch an incredible price. It's important to have your coin authenticated, as counterfeits and altered coins can easily find their way into the market. When it comes to selling rare coins like this, it's essential to be cautious. Always work with a trusted professional to ensure you're getting the right price for your rare find. There are plenty of scams out there, so it's worth doing your research and getting your coin properly authenticated. You might be wondering why this particular coin is valued so highly. The short answer is rarity. As we mentioned earlier, only a small number of these coins were ever produced, and even fewer have survived in pristine condition. But there's another factor at play here too. The 1973 no-mint mark penny has become somewhat of a symbol in the world of coin collecting. It represents an unusual piece of U.S. mint history, and collectors are eager to own a piece of it. The price tag of $1.8 million might sound like an exaggeration, but it's not. In recent years, rare coins like the 1973 no-mint mark penny have been commanding astronomical prices at auction. This is especially true for coins in mint or uncirculated condition, which are highly sought after by serious collectors. So, what's the takeaway from all of this? The 1973 no-mint mark penny is an incredible example of how something as ordinary as a penny can become a rare and valuable treasure. If you've got a collection of coins, it's worth taking a closer look at your pennies, especially if you've got a 1973 in the mix. While not every 1973 penny will be worth millions, you never know. You might just have one of the rare ones. I hope you found today's video informative and exciting. Who would have thought that a simple penny could be worth so much? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing coin facts and tips. And if you have any questions or thoughts about the 1973 no-mint mark penny, drop them in the comments below. We're diving into a topic that will amaze both seasoned collectors and newcomers to the world of numismatics. We're going to talk about a rare and valuable coin, the 1985 D-Mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, and the astonishing fact that it could be worth a whopping $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A penny worth $1 million. So, stick around as we explore the history, rarity, and the incredible value of this particular penny. You might be thinking, a penny is just a penny, right? But the truth is, some pennies are much more than that. They can be pieces of history, investments, and in rare cases, worth far more than you'd expect. The 1985 D-Mint mark Lincoln cent is one of those rare finds that has set the numismatic world on fire. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly why this penny is causing such a buzz. Before we dive deep into the details of the 1985 D-Mint mark penny, let's take a step back and talk about the Lincoln cent itself. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the Lincoln penny has become one of the most iconic coins in the United States. Over the years, the coin has gone through numerous design changes, but the basic concept has stayed the same. The obverse features a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln and the reverse has been modified several times, though most commonly featuring the Union Shield since 2010. The Lincoln penny has had several notable versions, including the 1909 SVDB, which is another highly sought-after coin. But today, we're focusing on one specific year, 1985.SO. What makes the 1985 D Mint Mark penny so special? First off, let's talk about what the D stands for. The D Mint mark indicates that the penny was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the U.S. Mint's main facilities. The 1985 penny, like most pennies from the 1980s, was mass-produced, and you'd expect to find them in change from a quick trip to the store. However, it's not just any 1985 penny that could be worth a fortune. It's the rare anomalies, the special coins, that attract collectors. There are certain conditions, mint errors, and unique qualities that can cause a coin to increase in value exponentially. You might be asking, how can a 1985 D penny possibly be worth $1 million? Well, here's where it gets interesting. Not all 1985 D pennies are worth this incredible amount. In fact, the vast majority are still worth only 1 cent, the value that's printed on the coin itself. So, what makes a select few of these coins worth so much? The key lies in an extremely rare error. Some 1985 D pennies were minted with a major flaw, a die error. In this case, the penny may have been struck with a misaligned die or some other minting defect that caused the coin to look significantly different from the typical penny. When such errors occur, the value of the coin skyrockets because collectors are eager to own these mistakes. Now, we're talking about pennies that are so rare, they can be worth anywhere from thousands of dollars to even $1 million. These are pennies that are almost never seen in circulation, and when they do surface, collectors scramble to add them to their collections. So, how can you identify a 1985 D penny that could potentially be worth $1 million? First, you'll need to closely examine the coin for any signs of an error. Here are some things to look for. The most common error with these pennies is a misaligned die. This can cause the design to be off-center or have a doubled image. Another potential error is a double die, where the design appears to be struck twice, creating a blurred or doubled image of Abraham Lincoln or the lettering on the coin. Sometimes, debris or grease gets caught in the minting press, which can leave an unusual mark or an incomplete design on the penny. This could increase its value significantly. To accurately determine if your coin is one of the rare and valuable ones, you should take it to a professional numismatist or have it graded by a service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. They can help authenticate the coin and assign it a grade, which will determine its market value. While the value of most 1985 D pennies is minimal, a coin with a verified mint error can be valued at much more. But what exactly makes these rare pennies so valuable? Well, it's the scarcity combined with the demand from collectors. A 1985 D penny in pristine condition with a significant error can easily fetch tens of thousands of dollars, or even more, depending on the severity and type of error. The true record-breaking penny, however, has reportedly sold for upwards of $1 million in auctions. These are the true holy grails of coin collecting, and they don't appear every day. But remember, finding a penny that's worth $1 million is incredibly rare. If you happen to come across one, make sure to handle it with care and get it appraised. Even a penny in good condition with minor errors can be worth significantly more than its face value. If you're wondering about the coin market, know that it's an exciting world with lots of potential. Coin collecting has always been a popular hobby, but in recent years, rare coins like the 1985 D penny have become a lucrative investment for many people. There are auction houses, online platforms, and specialized dealers where these rare coins are sold for record-breaking prices. If you want to get into coin collecting, it's important to do your research. Start by learning about different types of errors, historical coin values, and how to properly store and protect your collection. If you think you've found a rare 1985 D penny, don't jump to conclusions. It's always best to get it authenticated. As mentioned earlier, services like PCGS and NGC can evaluate your coin for authenticity and grade its condition. These grades play a big part in determining a coin's value. Experienced dealers can also help assess the value of your coin, though be prepared for some negotiation. Some high-value coins are sold at auctions, where collectors bid for rare and unique pieces. If your 1985 D penny is truly rare, An auction might be the best way to get top dollar for it. So, there you have it. The 1985 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. A seemingly ordinary penny that could be worth an incredible $1 million. Whether you're an experienced coin collector or just getting started, it's always worth checking your pocket change for those rare gems that could change your life. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another exciting coin-related update. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin or if you've got any questions about coin collecting. We're diving deep into one of the most intriguing coins ever discovered, the 1995 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. You may have heard of it, or perhaps this is your first time learning about it, but one thing is for sure. This coin is rare, valuable, and has created quite a stir in the numismatic world. Today, we'll be discussing the history, rarity, and of course, the current market value of this elusive penny that's worth far more than your average cent. So, sit back, relax, and let's explore why a simple penny could be worth an astonishing $1.2 million. Let's start by understanding the basics. Most of us have seen a penny, right? The familiar copper coin with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But here's where things get interesting. In 1995, a small mistake in the minting process led to a penny that would become a valuable treasure. Normally, every U.S. coin is stamped with a mint mark indicating where it was produced, either Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. However, in 1995, a small batch of pennies was minted in Philadelphia without the usual P mint mark. Now, before we go any further, let's talk about what this means. A mint mark on a coin indicates its place of origin. For the 1995 penny, most were struck at the Philadelphia Mint and bore the P mint mark. But the few that were missing this mark became a huge anomaly. This no mint mark penny is not just another error coin. Its rarity stems from the fact that it is believed to be one of a kind. While there are other rare pennies out there, such as the famous 1943 copper penny, this 1995 no mint mark penny stands out because it is so unexpected. A penny from the Philadelphia Mint should always have the P mint mark. The absence of this mark sparked confusion among collectors and experts when it was first discovered. It was initially overlooked by many in the hobby community. However, once the error was realized, the coin's value began to climb. In fact, only one example of this coin is known to exist, which makes it incredibly rare. As you can imagine, rarity plays a huge role in determining a coin's value. You might be wondering, how did this one penny go from being a simple piece of change to a $1-million treasure? Well, let's dive into the specifics of what makes this coin so valuable. There are several factors that contribute to its high price tag. First and foremost is its rarity. As mentioned earlier, there is only one known example of the 1995 no mint mark penny. The fact that it is an error coin makes it even more valuable. Error coins, especially those with a historical backstory like this one, are highly sought after by collectors. The second factor is the high demand for rare and error coins in the numismatic market. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for rare pieces to add to their collections, and an error like this one is a prize. As collectors bid against each other, the price of the coin continues to rise. Finally, the coin's connection to Abraham Lincoln, a key figure in American history, adds to its appeal. Lincoln's image is one of the most iconic on U.S. currency, and any coin bearing his likeness is highly collectible. Now, let's talk about the big moment when this coin really made headlines. The 1995 no mint mark penny was sold at a public auction for an astonishing $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.2 million for a single penny. This auction took place in recent years, and the buyer of this rare penny was a private collector who was willing to pay top dollar for this historical treasure. The sale of this coin sent shockwaves through the numismatic community and further solidified its place as one of the most valuable pennies in the world. Since that auction, the value of the 1995 no mint mark penny has remained high, with some experts predicting that it could continue to appreciate in value as more collectors enter the market. Now, for those of you out there who might be wondering if you have one of these rare pennies in your own coin collection, it's important to know how to identify the 1995 no mint mark penny. The absence of the mint mark is the key feature. You can start by closely examining the reverse side of the penny, where the mint mark is usually located just beneath the 1 cent inscription. If you don't see the P, you might just have a rare find. Keep in mind, however, that this is a very small error, and the coin must be in excellent condition to have such high value. If you think you've found one, it's a good idea to get it professionally appraised by a numismatist or a reputable coin dealer. They can help verify whether your penny is the real deal and give you an idea of its potential value. So, what does the future hold for the 1995 no mint mark penny? With its unique status as one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever discovered, it is likely to continue being highly sought after by collectors. As time passes, the coin's historical significance may increase, further driving its value. Coins like this one often experience spikes in interest and value as new generations of collectors join the hobby and discover rare pieces. If you happen to own one of these pennies, it could very well be an investment that grows in value over the years. However, if you're looking to buy one, be prepared for the price tag. It's not an affordable penny for the average person. To wrap things up, the 1995 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a rare, valuable, and fascinating piece of American numismatic history. Its uniqueness, combined with its connection to the iconic Abraham Lincoln, has made it one of the most valuable coins ever sold, with a current market value of $1.2 million. If you happen to come across a 1995 penny without the mint mark, take a close look and consider having it appraised. You just might be holding onto a treasure worth far more than its face value. We're going to explore an incredible story about one of the most surprising coins ever minted, the 1996 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1 cent penny. Yes, you heard it right. A coin that, today, could be worth a whopping $1.5 million. Stick around as we dive into the history, the rarity, and the mystery behind this potentially priceless penny. Before we talk about the 1996 D penny, let's take a quick walk through history. The Abraham Lincoln 1 cent penny, which has been in circulation for over a century, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, this coin features Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, with the reverse originally showing 2 wheat stalks. That design, known as the wheat penny, was in circulation until 1958. In 1959, the penny's reverse was changed to show the Lincoln Memorial, which is a familiar design for many coin collectors and enthusiasts. But in 2009, the U.S. Mint released a series of special edition pennies to mark the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, including 4 different reverse designs. But we're here to focus on one specific penny, the 1996 D. Now, what's so special about the 1996 D penny? On the surface, it may look like just another ordinary penny that you might find in your change. However, a rare and unique error makes this penny extremely valuable. To understand why, we need to dive into something known as a mint error. A mint error occurs when there's a mistake during the coin production process, creating a unique and sometimes extremely rare coin. In the case of the 1996 D penny, the error that caught the attention of collectors and numismatists involves a double die. A double die error happens when a coin is struck twice by the die, which results in a slight shift of the design. In the case of the 1996 D penny, the double die error is most noticeable on Lincoln's portrait, where you'll see a doubling effect. This particular error was incredibly rare, and only a few of these coins were ever released into circulation. Because of this, it stands out from the millions of regular 1996 D pennies produced, making it highly sought after by collectors. Now, let's talk about the truly jaw-dropping part, the value. While most 1996 D pennies are worth just 1 cent, the error version of this coin has been known to fetch anywhere from a few $100s to a staggering $1.5 million at auction. Yes, you read that right. $1.5 million for a single penny. But how does a coin like this go from a humble cent to a fortune? Well, the value of a coin like this comes from its rarity and the demand among collectors. When a mint error occurs and only a small number of coins are ever released, it creates scarcity. This scarcity drives up the value, especially if the coin is in good condition, known as mint state, or MS. So, how do you know if you have one of these rare 1996 D pennies? Well, the first thing you should do is check the date and the mint mark. You'll want to look closely at the D mint mark, which signifies that the coin was minted in Denver. If the mint mark looks normal, it's probably a standard penny. However, If the coin has the characteristic doubling on Abraham Lincoln's portrait, you may just be holding on to a priceless error. Identifying a 1996 D double die penny is relatively simple if you know what to look for. First, take a close look at the lettering on the obverse, especially around the date and the word Liberty. Look for any signs of doubling or distortion in the letters. The most noticeable doubling is on Lincoln's face, particularly his eyebrow and cheek, where you'll see a shadowy effect caused by the mint error. Another common feature of these error pennies is the distortion of the word "In God We Trust" on the coin. This can sometimes be difficult to spot with the naked eye, but with a magnifying glass or loupe, the doubling becomes much more visible. Also, pay attention to the overall condition of the coin. While any 1996 D penny with a double die error is valuable, those in excellent condition, with minimal wear, will fetch much higher prices. So, now that you've identified the coin, how do you determine its value? Coins in mint state, which are almost perfect with minimal signs of wear, will command the highest prices. The more pronounced the doubling, the more valuable the coin is. Some of these pennies are so rare that only a handful are known to exist. It's important to have the coin authenticated and graded by a professional numismatist. A coin that has been certified by a reputable grading service like the PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, will hold much more value than one that hasn't been certified. So, if you believe you have a rare 1996 D double die penny, consider sending it off to a grading service for authentication. Once graded and certified, you can rest assured that your coin will fetch top dollar when the time comes to sell. Now, let's talk about where you can sell your rare coin if you happen to have one. There are several avenues to consider. One of the best places to sell rare and valuable coins is at a specialized coin auction. Many collectors and investors follow these auctions, so you're likely to find interested buyers who are willing to pay a premium price. Another option is to visit a local coin dealer or a numismatic dealer who can provide you with an offer based on the market value of the coin. Make sure you do your research first, so you have a good idea of the coin's worth before you visit. Websites like eBay allow collectors to buy and sell rare coins. This gives you access to a global market, but you should be careful to properly describe and authenticate your coin to ensure you get a fair price. In conclusion, the 1996 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny is a rare and valuable coin, thanks to a unique minting error. While most of us may only encounter regular pennies in our daily lives, if you're lucky enough to find one of these double die pennies, you could be holding on to a true treasure. With the potential to fetch up to $1.5 million, it's worth taking the time to check your coins carefully. You might be holding on to more than just a penny. Who knows? You might just have a fortune in your pocket. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American history, the 1961 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now, this isn't just any penny. This particular coin has a story that's not only intriguing but also quite profitable. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know why this penny is currently worth a staggering $1.8 million. Let's start with some basics. Most of us have seen pennies in our daily lives, right? But what makes the 1961 D penny stand out from the rest? The D mint mark on the coin signifies that it was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the 3 primary minting facilities in the United States. In 1961, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, but there was one very special 1961 D penny that became a true rarity in the world of numismatics, coin collecting. But why is this specific penny so special? The answer lies in its unique characteristics. Let's take a step back. In 1961, the U.S. Mint was producing regular, everyday coins like they always do. However, during the minting process, a small number of 1961 D pennies were struck with a rare error. This error, a die anomaly, resulted in the penny being made with an unusual characteristic that would eventually turn it into one of the most valuable coins ever discovered. What makes the 1961 D penny so rare isn't immediately obvious. It's an error that happened during the production process. Specifically, these pennies have a distinct feature in the form of a die crack or other minting flaws, which set them apart from regular 1961 D pennies. These flaws were initially unnoticed by the public and collectors, but they would later go on to become a sought-after treasure. You may be wondering, how did anyone discover the value of this penny? Well, it was a stroke of luck and curiosity. In 2008, a numismatist or coin expert by the name of Mark Steffen came across a 1961 penny while sorting through coins at a coin show. Upon closer inspection, Stefan realized that this wasn't just any penny. It had a unique flaw that had never been seen before: a die crack running through Lincoln's neck. This anomaly is extremely rare and made this penny stand out from the thousands of other 1961 pennies produced that year. Stefan immediately recognized the significance of the coin, and after a thorough examination, it was confirmed that this penny was indeed an authentic 1961 with the rare error. The news of this discovery quickly spread throughout the numismatic community. As the 1961 penny's discovery gained attention, coin collectors, investors, and historians alike were eager to get their hands on it. The rare error made it an instant sensation in the world of numismatics. After years of research, and with a bit of luck, the coin was auctioned off to the highest bidder. The penny sold at auction for an astronomical $1.8 million. This price was far beyond anyone's expectations and made headlines worldwide. It's one of the most expensive pennies ever sold at auction, and for good reason. To date, this remains one of the highest-selling coins in American history, further cementing the value of this incredibly rare find. Now, you might be wondering, why is the 1961 penny worth so much? What makes this penny so valuable compared to other coins that might seem similar? First, let's talk about rarity. In the world of coins, rarity is one of the key factors in determining a coin's value. For example, a 1961 penny in good condition might only be worth a few cents, while one with a rare error can command millions. Moreover, coin collectors and investors are constantly looking for rare coins that hold historical significance. The 1961 penny is one of those coins that offers both rarity and historical context, which makes it incredibly valuable in the eyes of collectors and numismatists. Coin values are determined by several factors. These include the rarity of the coin, its condition, and how well it has been preserved. The rarer the coin, the higher the demand, and ultimately, the higher the price. Coins that are in excellent condition, known as uncirculated coins, are worth significantly more than coins that have seen heavy circulation. For the 1961 penny, the coin's rarity is a huge factor in its market value. Since only a very small number of these rare error coins were produced, and even fewer have survived in good condition, the demand for them is incredibly high. In addition to its rarity and historical significance, the 1961 penny has a few other key factors that contribute to its value. First, let's talk about its condition. The 1961 penny discovered by Mark Stefan, which sold for $1.8 million, was in remarkable condition. This coin had been well preserved, despite its age, and was free from major damage, which increased its appeal to collectors. Second, its error makes it a one-of-a-kind piece. Coins with unique minting errors are highly sought after because they represent a moment in history when something went wrong, resulting in a rare and valuable artifact. Finally, the 1961 penny holds significant historical value. Abraham Lincoln's portrait, which has graced the penny for over a century, adds a layer of Americana to the coin, making it even more appealing to those with a deep connection to the United States history. So, how can you identify a 1961 penny that may be worth a small fortune? Let's go over a few key points to look for. First, examine the mint mark. It should have a small D next to the date. If you find a 1961 penny with a D mint mark, you're off to a good start. Next, closely inspect the coin for any visible flaws, particularly in the design. Look for cracks or unusual marks, especially around Abraham Lincoln's neck or other prominent areas on the coin. These flaws are the telltale signs that you've found a rare 1961 penny. Lastly, the coin's condition is critical. Coins that have been well preserved without wear or damage are much more valuable than those that are heavily worn or scratched. To wrap it up, the 1961 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a true treasure in the world of coin collecting. Its rare die error, historical significance, and condition made it worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million at auction. If you happen to come across a 1961 penny, take the time to inspect it closely. You never know, you might be holding on to a small fortune. We're focusing on a specific year, the 1984 Lincoln cent, minted in Denver with a D mint mark. While it may seem like just another penny, there's a rare variety from this year that has taken the coin world by storm. So, What makes the 1984 D penny so valuable? In 1984, the United States Mint produced billions of pennies. However, among these millions of coins, there's a very small number that were struck with a unique error, a double die obverse error. This mistake occurred during the minting process, and it resulted in a coin with noticeable doubling on the obverse. That's the front side of the coin, where Abraham Lincoln's image is. This doubling can be seen in the date and the inscriptions, and it's what sets this penny apart from the others. The double die obverse error happens when a coin die is misaligned during the striking process. This causes the image to be stamped twice, resulting in a doubled appearance. For the 1984 D penny, this error is most visible in the 1984 date and sometimes in the lettering around Lincoln's portrait. The error is subtle, but once you know what to look for, it's unmistakable. Here's a quick comparison. On the left, you can see a normal 1984 D penny, and on the right, here's one with the double die obverse error. Notice the clear difference in the date. On the double die penny, the numbers in the year 1984 are not crisp and clean. Instead, they appear doubled, giving the coin a distorted, almost blurry look. So, why is this error so valuable? Well, it's rare. The United States Mint produces billions of coins each year, but errors like this happen very infrequently. Even more rare is the fact that many of these double die pennies have already been lost or damaged. Only a small number remain in pristine condition, and these are the ones that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. Now, let's talk about the value. The 1984 D double die Lincoln cent has become a highly sought-after coin in the numismatic community. In fact, one of these rare pennies recently sold for an astonishing $1.5 million at auction. Yes, you heard that right. $1.5 million for a single penny. That makes this 1984 D error coin one of the most valuable modern pennies ever discovered. How did the price skyrocket to such an incredible amount? Well, the rarity of the coin, combined with its perfect condition, makes it a holy grail for coin collectors. And when a coin like this is sold, it sets a benchmark for other collectors to chase. There's also the excitement and prestige associated with owning a piece of history that is this rare. So, how do you know if you have one of these rare 1984 D double die pennies? The first step is to inspect your coins carefully. The doubling is most noticeable on the year 1984, so take a look at your pennies closely. Use a magnifying glass or a loupe to check for any signs of doubling around the numbers and inscriptions. If you find a coin that seems to match, you may be holding a rare treasure. Now, remember, condition is key. A coin that has been worn down or damaged won't be worth as much as one in pristine, mint-like condition. The more clearly the doubling is visible, and the less wear and tear the coin has, the more valuable it will be. If you think you found one, it's a good idea to have the coin professionally graded by a service like the Professional Coin Grading Service, or PCGS. Professional grading helps to determine the quality and authenticity of your coin. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A perfect 1984 D double die penny in MS, 68 or higher condition could potentially fetch millions of dollars at auction. Even if your coin isn't worth $1 million, don't be discouraged. The 1984 D double die error is still a fascinating piece of history, and even in lower grades, these coins can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on demand and condition. To summarize, the 1984 D Lincoln cent penny with the double die obverse error is an extremely rare and valuable coin. If you happen to find one, you might just have a hidden treasure worth up to $1.5 million. So, keep an eye on your change, inspect your pennies, and who knows? You could be the next lucky collector to strike it rich. We're diving into a fascinating piece of American history, the 1971 Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Not only is this coin an important part of U.S. numismatic history, but it also has an astonishing current market value of over $1.2 million. That's right, a penny worth $1 million. Stick around as we explore why this coin is so valuable, its history, and how you can find out if you have one in your collection. Let's start by taking a step back in time. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, something that was groundbreaking at the time. The coin's design, created by Victor David Brenner, shows a portrait of Lincoln on the obverse, or front side, with the words, "In God We Trust," and the year of minting. On the reverse, we see two wheat stalks flanking the words "E pluribus unum" and "1 cent," which became known as the wheat cent. However, in 1959, the design changed, and the wheat stalks were replaced with a depiction of the Lincoln Memorial. This new design would become iconic, appearing on pennies for over 50 years. So, when we reach 1971, we see the 1971 S penny with the new memorial design. But what makes the 1971 S penny so special, and why is it worth so much? Let's break it down. First, let's talk about the mint mark. The mint mark on a coin indicates where it was made. In the case of the 1971 S penny, the S stands for the San Francisco Mint. Most pennies of the 1970s were minted in either Philadelphia, no mint mark, or Denver, marked with a D. The 1971 S penny was made in San Francisco and has a distinct feature that will become important later on. Here's the twist that makes this coin so valuable. The 1971 S penny wasn't supposed to have the S mint mark at all. Instead, the plan was for it to be a proof coin, an extra special version of the penny made for collectors. These proof coins were produced only in the San Francisco Mint, and they were struck multiple times to make them sharper and more polished than regular circulation coins. However, due to a minting error, a few 1971 pennies were mistakenly produced with the S mint mark, intended for proof coins, but struck as regular business strikes instead. This mix-up means that very few of these 1971 S pennies were released into circulation. In fact, only a handful of them were ever discovered, making them incredibly rare. That rarity, combined with the coin's historical significance and its minting error, is what drives its market value into the millions. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the value. As of today, the 1971 S penny with the minting error has an estimated market value of up to $1.2 million. That's right, a single penny, worth more than some of the most prized coins in history. The reason for this astronomical price tag comes down to its rarity and the fact that it's one of the most famous coin errors in American history. The value of the 1971 S penny can vary based on its condition. A coin in excellent condition, especially one with high grades like MS 65 or MS 66, will fetch the highest prices. If you're lucky enough to find one in mint condition or even close to it, you might just have a coin worth a small fortune. For coins in lesser condition, the value will still be high, but it won't come anywhere near the $1 million mark. You might be wondering, why is this coin worth so much when there are so many other error coins out there? Well, it comes down to a few key factors. Rarity. The 1971 S penny is extremely rare. There are only a few known to exist, and even fewer in good condition. That rarity drives up the price significantly. This isn't just a minor error. It's a coin that tells a story about the U.S. Mint's operations in the early 1970s. Coin collectors love pieces that come with an interesting backstory, and this one certainly does. Condition. As with all rare coins, condition plays a huge role in the value. The better the condition, the higher the value. Coins with sharp details, no visible wear, and a clean surface will command a higher price. The demand for rare coins, especially error coins, is growing. Coin collectors and investors are always on the lookout for valuable, unique pieces like the 1971 S penny, which drives up the price. Now that you know the value of the 1971 S penny, you might be wondering how to tell if you have one. The most obvious feature is the S mint mark, which will appear just below the date. This is the key indicator that it was minted in San Francisco. The 1971 S penny with the error will have a design that closely resembles a regular 1971 penny, but with the unintended mint mark. It's a small error, but it's what makes the coin so valuable. A coin's condition is graded based on several factors, including the sharpness of its details, how much wear and tear it shows, and how clean the surface is. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Coins in mint or near mint condition will be worth much more than those with significant wear. Cleaning a coin can reduce its value, so it's important to leave it in its natural state. In fact, professional graders prefer coins that are untouched and unaltered. If you believe your penny might be the real deal, The next step is to have it graded by a professional service, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. Grading is the process of assessing a coin's condition, and it's a crucial step in determining its market value. Once your coin is graded, you'll want to get it appraised. This will give you a better idea of how much it's worth on the current market.so. There you have it. Everything you need to know about the 1971 Lincoln penny and why it's worth over $1.2 million. It's a rare and valuable coin that has captivated collectors for decades, and if you happen to stumble upon one, you could be sitting on a small fortune.